MzeroA Nation, I have the coolest series that we're in right now, the flight lessons. Do you remember a few months ago we ran a series called the Fly With Jason Sweepstakes, where a few lucky winners got the opportunity to fly with myself in beautiful 2-3 Mike Zulu. Well, we announced those winners and they had a little extra surprise, as if that wasn't cool enough. You see, while all that was happening, my lovely lady Magda and I had the amazing opportunity to do something we haven't done before, which is to become an investor in an amazing flight school down in Naples, Florida called RexAir. So with the new management team in place, our Fly With Jason winners got to come down to Naples to RexAir to see 2-3 Mike Zulu, to see the amazing operation that is RexAir, and got to be some of the first students under that new management. This is their story of the flight lessons. Today opens up with Karen, actually. You'll see Karen's story. Karen is a remote pilot, used our course, Remote Pilot 101, through MzeroA, and taken her up on her first discovery flight.
I have taken my pilot's ground school before, and it was back in the 90s, I think. And it was years and years ago. And I absolutely loved flying, but it was very difficult because the ground school was just read this book. So when it came time to learn how to fly the drone, I knew that I had to have some ground school. And I also knew that I wanted to be licensed. I wanted to be a licensed pilot. I didn't want to be a hobbyist. So I went online and I went and searched for drone certification trainers. And I came across Jason and Remote 101, and I was hooked. I'm very, very thankful that I had a team of people surrounding me. I had at least one coach right there by my side explaining to me what I was doing and how to work this drone that I had never really actually played with more than maybe a few hours. So it was good.
So Karen was actually our remote pilot winner of the Fly With Jason Sweepstakes. And it's so great to take somebody who has great aviation knowledge. And remote pilots, you may not realize this, to pass their Part 107 test, it's like private pilot written test light. They know METARs and TAFs and airspace and regulations, basically like you'd have to know as a private pilot. So to take Karen's knowledge of that and apply it to her first discovery flight is amazing. But then a step further, going out to the beach, and really it's for Karen to get more drone experience, but notice everybody else there too. Some of them haven't even flown a drone before. It was very fun too to see Taylor get to do that as well. She latched on. It was after Karen flew the FPV, I said, who's next? And she was like both hands raised, ready to go and fly the FPV drone.
I never imagined that you could, it just felt like, when you get the VR goggles, it just felt like is this even real? But then you look down and you see all the MzeroA team and you're like, hey! Yeah. And it's just like, oh my gosh, I'm right there. Oh my gosh, this is happening. It's just really cool. And like Eric said, Jamie Beckett will tell you there are more uses than you can think of for drones. And I'm really excited that would be really fun to be a drone pilot. I think that would be amazing.
The Inspire 2 is just an incredible drone, and the DJI FPV, you don't realize, flying FPV, first person view, you're gonna laugh, I actually have to sit down to fly because I can't stand to do FPV. I feel like I'm gonna fall over. It's like a kid when they play video games, they move their whole body playing video games. That's what I feel like when I fly the FPV drone.
The first person view is just out of this world. You put these goggles on and you are literally on the plane looking around, and that was so awesome because I could see the animals in the water, and that was really fun.
That unmanned space, that remote pilot space is just so much fun And as someone who started in manned aviation and then progressed into unmanned aviation, it is just such an absolute blast. And we're so thankful to have so many people here from so many walks of aviation. From Karen making the transition to 2 co-pilots, and we're putting their spouses in the back seat and letting the co-pilots fly up front, to those just finished up private. For Lauren, this is her first instrument lesson. How cool is that? To get to do it in 2-3 Mike Zulu. And my goal, we're taking her and Adam as well. It's one of his first instrument lessons into actual conditions, into the clouds. I think that's so profound, so powerful. You all know there's a difference between the foggles and the hood and actual IFR conditions if you've done it before. And then back to Hunter and Holly, both commercial pilots, and for them, their first spot, their first time in the right seat.
You know, I was really, really nervous coming into this. I was super nervous about, you know, flying with him. You know, Jason, it's like, no, so we're all excited about that. And as we've been here the last couple of days, it's like interacting and talking to everybody. It's like really calmed my nerves and soothed. And I've seen how he's been talking to the other pilots and how they're doing, and they're all doing great. So I'm really feeling better about that.
So I'm excited to put me in a plane with him so he can actually see what I can do and like how I can perform. And I'm also excited to be able to look back with like these videos and stuff and see, you know, where I did good at, where I did bad at, and what I can improve on. So.
I always love taking someone up on their first discovery flight. Just an opportunity to introduce somebody to aviation, or even in Karen's case, taking somebody who hasn't been up flying in a very long time and reintroducing them to aviation.
Look at you, like you know what you're doing here. We're off to a strong start, that's all I'm saying, okay? So we are on taxiway Bravo right now. I know that by looking at that sign. See, the B is yellow, the background is black. That means I am on Bravo. I'm approaching Delta left and right. I need to make a right turn on Delta. I know that because the next sign says 5 and 2, 3. 5 is to my right. So he said Delta and 5. That's gonna be a right-hand turn here. So we're gonna make a right turn, but let's still look, make sure we're clear. And we're also, he told us to cross runway 14, which is this here. So we're gonna cross the runway, and we're especially gonna look then. So let's make a right turn. You're doing great. Let's just double check on the runway. It sure does look good, doesn't it? Nobody's landing. On this runway at least, so we're gonna boogie across this runway. I'll let you taxi us straight ahead.
Part of the issue that I was having was minding what was going on outside the window and not so much paying that close of attention to the control panels. And I have the same problem with the drone. I have a tendency to look at the controller and not look at where the plane is at.
Let's try a little bit more to get on that line there. A little bit of left pedal. I'll slow you down a little bit.
Having that little bit of anxiety that you're just a little bit unsure of what's about to happen.
All right, he's gonna go. And then it's our turn, if I had to guess.
It's funny when I do a discovery flight, I always do a few different things and notice that. First off, when it's time to take off, I'm always very purposeful. Hey, my hand's right here, you're doing this. Now, I always make sure we're trimmed right and everything else and make it super easy, but I always say my hands are here, you're flying this thing.
123 Mike Zulu, turn right on course, runway 5 at Delta 1, clear for takeoff.
5 Delta 1 and right on course, clear for takeoff, thanks, 23 Mike Zulu. All right, it's showtime.
Okay,
Traffic.
here we go.
I'll get your turn here for you. All right, so I always like to confirm this is runway 5. I see it painted there. It's 5 on my compass.
Once you leave the ground and there's only a piece of tin between you and the ground, you quickly realize that, but then you're like, okay, because you're thrusting and it's pushing you forward. And that propelling just makes all the difference in the world because you lose any fear that you've had before.
Heels hit the floor, toes go to the bottom of our pedals. We smoothly apply some full power.
Roger, runway 5, clear to land.
Runway 5, clear to land. Wait till we get to about 60. I'm here watching you, but you're okay. There's 50, wait a second. She'll fly when she's ready. She wants to go, bring her on back. My hand's right here. Back, back, back. Good. Woohoo! Push forward a little bit more. My hand's right here, good job. Keep it going. No, that's just the wind, that's not you. Push it forward a little bit. You can't see anything. I want you to see stuff. There you go. My hand's right here. You're doing fantastic.
Are we going to turn
Push
left?
it. Nope. Let's get a little higher. Let's get a little higher. Push it forward. Push it forward. If you can't see anything, we got a problem. I want you to be able to see. So push it forward.
There we go.
Right there.
Nice and
That's where I want you. That's where I want you. Hold the nose right here. If you can't see the ground, there you go. Push. There you go. Perfect.
Can I see my horizon?
Perfect. That's what I want you to see. Let's get a little higher before we make that turn. We want to be safe. We don't have anything to prove to anybody. So let's just take our sweet little time getting to the south. Once we get about 700 feet, we'll turn that way. I'll tell you when. Don't you worry about anything else.
Another aspect of it is, and you'll notice this if you ever go on to become a flight instructor, or maybe you are getting ready for a discovery flight yourself. My discovery flight learner students always have a death grip on the yoke, and you see like their veins bulging in their arm. I would look over and say, no death grip, loosen up, and they go, how'd you know that?
Loosey-goosey. Look like you got a death grip over there. Breathe and loosey-goosey. Breathe and loosey-goose. There you go.
Breathe.
Don't break the yoke off in your hand there, muscles.
Everybody's always the same. They have this death grip. They forget to breathe. They forget to look outside. And you have to remember, whether you're administering the discovery flight or experiencing the discovery flight, that you gotta breathe. You have to enjoy the entire moment, because aviation is meant to be enjoyed.
And don't forget to look outside and enjoy it. It's pretty cool what we get to do.
Charlie Echo with you, about 10 miles to the east, inbound for a full stop.
You know, one point I made on Karen's discovery flight too, especially being this close to the Gulf of Mexico, I turned us out to the west because I really wanted her to see the blue of the ocean, the blue of the sky, and the fact that there's no horizon. Because one thing we talked a lot about was we stay on that horizon. We do everything based on that horizon. You're a VFR pilot. We look outside. Our instruments are beautiful, but I'm teaching you to look outside.
Our instruments are great, and you need to learn how to use them, but I need you to learn how to look outside and see that too. It's very, very important. You remember the JFK Jr. crash, right?
Yes.
The thing that finally did JFK Jr. in is he was following the coast, but it was getting very, very dark, and he decided, you know what, it's getting dark, I just need to get there.
I explained to her that when we were flying on that west heading, this is exactly what happened to JFK Jr. The sun was setting, it was getting darker and darker. He was following the shoreline just like we were, and then he decided, I'm gonna make the short 30-mile hop across to Martha's Vineyard. And then we made that turn, I showed it to her, and I said, now imagine it's night, right? The sky is black, the ocean is black, there's no ships out there. You can see how spatial disorientation can set in.
It's only 30, Martha's Vineyard's only 30 miles that way. I'm gonna just hop across to the vineyard. And can you imagine if it was dark now? You got the black sky, you got the black water. Can you see how spatial disorientation can happen when you look at that and you go, whoa.
Yeah.
How can I can't even see the horizon. It's so difficult not having that land there. So that's just, again, to always illustrate, this is something you continue to pursue, just being always so mindful of that. And you know what? I guarantee in even Wichita, there's big old lakes, or there's a big farmer's field, there's just no terrain. You can get that black hole effect, just like JFK Jr. had.
Again, it wasn't a scary moment. There's nothing dangerous about it, just to illustrate and show. And you tried to imprint these things early on, because primacy is powerful. Primacy is like a muscle, and early on, as a flight instructor, you can make these strong, profound impressions. You're going to instill in your learners that, hey, listen, this spatial disorientation stuff isn't anything to mess around with, or I'm going to get my instrument as soon as I get my private, or whatever that may mean for them, or I want more than the minimum 3 hours that the FAA says for nighttime and hood time. It makes a profound impact and really goes a long way.
He's like, all right, we're going south, and we really just need to go north again because we want to return back to base. And so go ahead and start making your head to the north. And just that constant turn and keeping it level and just watching the whole sky just change, knowing that I was controlling it and I was heading back to base. It was just an exciting time.
You got a little knack for this thing, huh?
Yeah, I like it.
You're doing good. Bring this power back.
328 Golf Tango, Naval Star, roger.
Take those eyes, look down that runway, all the way towards the end of it now. Just hold it here. Pull back a little bit. Good. Hold it here. Hold it here. Here it comes. There's the ground. Good job. We're just going to let it roll. We'll get our flaps up.
23 Mike Zulu, turn right at Charlie, contact ground point 6.
We're heading to Rex Air Flight, so left on Charlie, okay?
On Charlie's great.
You got it.
Well, that was fun.
That
Thank
was
you so
fun.
much.
Thank you. You did awesome.
Every flight lesson is so different. From a discovery flight to check ride prep to someone who's just struggling with landings, whatever that may be. Throughout this series, you're gonna get to see these winners, right? The Fly With Jason Sweepstakes, you're gonna get to see their journey. We're gonna show commercial pilots, CFI candidates, first-time instrument lessons as well. If you are in flight training right now and you wanna get some behind the scenes on how I teach and some of my tactics, I know these episodes are a little bit longer, but get the popcorn out and stay tuned for next Tuesday. Every Tuesday we'll be posting, there'll be 4 episodes in this series. You're not going to wanna miss one of them. I cannot wait to read your comments down below this video. Does this not feel like video 32 of a 32-day Safer Pilot Challenge? I think it does. Anyways, I cannot wait to read your comments down below. Have a blessed, amazing, incredible rest of your day. And most importantly, remember that a good pilot is always learning. Have a great day, everybody. See ya.